It brought trainload after trainload of carpetbaggers, freebooters, farmers, merchants, men and women of every creed and vocation with a boundless sense of adventure, ambition, and courage to seek their fortune in this golden country. It took plenty of courage to leave the last tie with civilization, the railroad, and take to the transportation of the plains, the prairie schooner, For the Indian menace was at its worst. To him, every wagon meant a family, and families settled on his hunting grounds, building towns like Tri-City.
Cursed redskins.
What have the Indians done now?
More settlers killed. Their homes burned to the ground. Down around the Shawnee.
I suppose the cavalry down at Fort El Reno are having too good a time to get out and patrol the countryside like they're supposed to do.
Cavalry's doing the best it can, Bill. Don't make no mistake about it. They need horses to patrol all that territory. Horses that they haven't got.
Well, if you depend on men like Jim Bailey, the Army never will get the horses they need.
Well, this is a change. I thought you liked Jim Bailey.
I did. He's had plenty of time to get those horses in here.
Well, wild horses aren't easy to round up, Bill.
I could do better without moving out of the house.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but... You know, if I don't get those horses right quick, I'm going to lose that Army contract. It'll just about ruin both of us.
Well, it'll serve you right, but that's your friend Bailey for you. All talk and no delivery. Aren't you going to have your lunch?
Ah, I'm a little bit worried. I can't eat a thing now. I'll have something later, darling.
I'll keep it warm for you.
All right, sis. No one.
Is anything wrong, Henry?
A note from Colonel Bradford. There's been a whole wagon train wiped out south of here by Indian ambush. And all because he didn't have enough cavalry to escort them. Colonel Bradford's way of saying that he's got to have those horses.
Well, what about this fellow Johnny Rebel? Didn't you make a contract with him?
Yes, he promised to bring in a herd, but he's new in these parts. I doubt if he can make it.
Wild Horse Valley, a horse lover's paradise. From here, the Indian got his fleet-footed ponies. And now the white man sought the sturdier stock. And I, Johnny Rebel, meant to get enough of these beauties to keep the cavalry at Fort El Reno well mounted. I might never have come this far west had it not been for a chance meeting with an old friend, Ring Pardo, former Union soldier and famous Indian scout. He and my daughter Kate, whose mother died during the war, talked me into this expedition and building our home here.
Welcome home.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Mr. Bailey.
Mr. Bailey. Well, I can see that 4 years of college has done things to you. In more ways than one. What do you say, Nato? She's changed, huh?
She's as beautiful as a sunflower.
Thank you, Nato. You're as poetic as ever. Jim, I'm very tired. I wonder if we could go home now.
Well, I'll have Nato drive you out. I got some business to take care of.
Miss Ange, not as beautiful as ever. Boy.
It's nice to see you, Sheriff Hickok. I mean, Bill. Oh, Jim, I just thought I have some shopping to do before I go to the ranch.
I'll have Nato wait for you.
Nato, I won't be long. Wait for me.
Your job is sheriff. I'll take care of everything else.
Why don't you relax? She's yours as far as I'm concerned. All I'm interested in this deal is my cut in good old U.S. currency.
By dog it, it's Johnny Rebel. And with a herd. He's come through.
You just gonna stand still and let Longtree buy horses from anybody? That isn't in your deal. You've got a contract, and if I was you, I'd hold him to it.
Good to see you, Rebel.
Good to be back, Henry.
My sister Pyle.
Oh, how do you do, miss?
So you're Johnny Rebel. Henry's spoken so many times of you.
When you get the horses tallied up, come in the office. We'll have a cup of coffee. I've got the money for you.
Well, fine. Where do you want me to put them?
The corral's down at the end of the street. How many head did you bring in?
About 40 head this time, Henry.
Yeah, they're a pleasant figure to my ears.
Good. I'll see you both in a little while.
Right.
I didn't think Longtree had enough brains to buck my deal. Come on. Those your horses up there in that corral?
Jim, sheriff, sit down. Yep, those are my horses.
I thought you had a contract with me.
So I have.
An exclusive one.
Jim, you haven't delivered to me any horses. I can't live on promises.
Read the contract, Henry. It doesn't say anything about a time limit, but it does say you're not to buy horses from anyone but me.
Listen, Jim. I just had word from Colonel Bradford. The Indians have wiped out another wagon train. The Army's got to have horses right now.
That stuff is just scared talk. Now, you know as well as I do, they're not paying us enough for those horses. What we'll do is hold out till the price is right, and then we'll clean up.
But Jim, you're not talking fair. Those horses that Rebel brought in, they're going to save a lot of lives.
Henry, being patriotic is all right as long as you're rich enough to afford it.
Being rich has nothing to do with it.
Maybe it hasn't. Longtree, I'd like to give you a little advice. I wouldn't deal with anybody but him if I were you. Do I make myself clear?
All right. I have about 100 head to go on my deal with Rebel. As soon as he brings them in, I'll deal with no one but you.
I don't think you understood, Mr. Hickok. You're not dealing with anyone but me as of right now. Now, do you understand that, Henry?
When are you going to tell him off?
They're right, Bill. Trouble is, I very foolishly signed an exclusive deal with Bailey.
Well, unfair contracts like that are meant to be broken. And James, she certainly doesn't look like that scrawny kid who left here 4 years ago.
She sure has blossomed out, hasn't she? Right pretty young woman.
James, I thought you were a dude.
Maybe I am.
Oh, you're too pretty to be a dude. You been back to East to school or something?
I was, but I had to come home. My dad died a couple of months ago.
Old Tom is dead?
Didn't you know?
No, I just got in town. It's the first time I've been here since I got out of the Army. Bailey sent me word my job wasn't waiting any longer.
Why did he do that?
Oh, I reckon it's because I was on Lincoln's side. Wait, Miss James, I want you to meet somebody. Hey, Johnny. Johnny Rebel, come here. Miss James, I want you to meet Johnny Rebel.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Rebel.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Miss James. We just delivered a bunch of horses to Henry Longtree. It seems as the cavalry up at Fort El Reno is running short of horses. We've been having a lot of Indian trouble. Those redskin devils have killed a lot of settlers lately.
I don't think this is quite the time to bore Miss James with trouble talk.
Ring, I'm going to be at the ranch for a while. Come visit me.
Thanks, Miss James.
You too, Mr. Rebel.
It'll be my pleasure. We better get back to work now.
You mustn't feel badly about what Mr. Pardo said.
They don't know there's good Indian, bad Indian. Good white man, bad white man.
All right, you fellas sit tight. I'll go in and pick up the money from Longtree. Hey, Pardo. What are you doing back in town?
None of your business.
You responsible for bringing these horses in?
I don't have to give account to you.
Well, you will if you know what's good for you, because in my book, you're still a dirty horse thief.
What's this all about?
Ask him.
I just came down here to get a tally, and these guys jumped me.
What's your name?
Rebel, Johnny Rebel.
Well, look, we're wary of strangers around here, mister. And your being with Pyle is no recommendation.
So you're the great Wild Bill Hickok we've heard so much about.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Hickok.
Well, you can see, in due respect to your law, that myself and my men are not armed.
Well, it's real good of you.
And up until now, we've broken no laws, right?
Not that I know of.
Well, until we do, leave us alone.
I'll be back as soon as I tally with Longtree, fellas.
Right, Johnny. Hey, Pyle! Hey, Pyle! I'm not going to waste words with you. If you're not out of this town in 1 hour, you'll be looking at it from behind bars. Come on, Jim.
Got some for me, Henry.
Sit down, Johnny. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you, Rebel.
Yeah, what's that?
Some time ago, I signed an exclusive contract with Jim Bailey. He hasn't brought a herd of horses in, but it looks like he's going to hold me to this contract. You're going to have to find yourself a new buyer.
Now, look, Henry. All I've had around here this morning is trouble. I have a contract with you for 140 other horses, right? There's 40 of them. At $30 a head, that means $1,200. Now, do I get my money, or do I have to argue with you about it?
Charlie, I intend paying you for the herd that you brought in. But I simply can't take any more. There's your money.
You having trouble, Henry?
What are you doing with this gun, Bill?
Well, I thought maybe something was wrong.
Oh, no.
Well, how about that cup of coffee for Johnny? Remember, he promised it to you?
Oh, and a cup of coffee.
Gee, I'm sorry, Bill. I mean, Miss Longtree, I didn't mean to be so rough on Henry, but myself and my boys need this money. By the way, this cannon, do you use it?
I've been known to. I might use it right now. Oh, I'm awfully sorry.
Everybody got into that.
Don't tell him.
Why don't you look where you're driving, Indian?
Dr. Reed! Dr. Reed! Don't you remember me? I'm Ann James.
Why, so it is. And James. I wouldn't have recognized you. When did you get back to our little town?
I just came in on the stage. Doc, I've got to talk to you about my father.
Yes, of course, but I'm sorry, I don't have much time now. I have to see a patient right away.
You see, he never wrote me he was sick. Well, just what did happen?
Well, Ann, it was just one of those things. You see, even I didn't realize how sick he was. I'm sure he didn't either. You remember he never was one to complain much.
Please, I've got to know more about what happened.
Yes, of course.
Then I'll be at your office in the morning.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
I just came from checking on that Johnny Rebel. He comes highly recommended. I'm afraid he spells trouble.
Scared to death, Bill.
Look, his nickname is Johnny Rebel. Have you ever heard of a man called Johnny Savage?
Yeah. So what?
So what? He's the man that held off a whole company of Union soldiers when they hit his pa's plantation. Now, look, Jim, I figure. If he finds out about us, there goes our government contract for horses.
Oh, it's been a long time, old friend.
Besides, Jim, there's Ann. I don't think you'd like her to get wised up.
Now, look. You take care of your business in town, and I'll handle this rebel or whatever his name is. And besides, there's a friend of ours around from Arizona.
Pat the kid.
That's right. Just keep our hands clean.
All right, see you in town.
Better be careful of him. He's grown up to be quite a stallion in the last 3 years. Like you. He's changed.
When the moon is full, he runs with the wild buck.
You mean my little pony has grown up to be a he-man?
Well, let's look at this ranch of yours. A lot of land, ain't it? A lot of land.
Jim, what's the matter with you? I don't seem to know you any longer. Like you said, there was a time when I used to thrill at being with you.
You're like your dad, Ann. He never did take me serious either. But I've come a long ways in the last 3 years, and that's because I'm smart. That's why I'm advising you to sell this place.
I won't talk of selling until after I speak to Doc Reed.
Hey, Bailey! Bailey! You better come quick.
What's ailing there, Pancho?
Looks like blackleg.
I hope you're wrong.
Nato! Right into town and get Doc Reed right away.
Do you really think it's blackleg?
Certainly hope not. Seems like ever since this year's drought, we've had nothing but trouble.
Oh, Dad never wrote me there was a drought.
He didn't want you to worry. But actually, there hasn't been enough feed for the stock. No spring rains.
You make it sound almost hopeless.
Well, it is and it isn't. But this is just one of the reasons I want you to sell this place.
We can talk about that later. What will you do if it is blackleg?
Destroy the stock. It's the law. But let's don't worry about that till Doc Reed gets here. Besides, I'm ramrodding this outfit, and that's my problem.
Well, as long as I own part of this ranch, it's only fair that I share my part of its problems.
You boys stay with that heifer till Doc Reed gets here. What's your verdict, Doc?
It's not blackleg, and you know it.
Doc, I want you to write me out an order asking me to destroy this critter. Because he is suffering from blackleg.
But, Bailey, I can't do that. Blackleg is a highly contagious disease. An order like that would cause an uproar all over the countryside.
I know that. But we'll burn this heifer so that disease won't spread.
I ain't going to do it.
Now, Doc, this is no time for you to grow a conscience.
You're wrong, Bailey. It is time. High time.
What's eating you?
I saw Ann in town this morning. Couldn't bring myself to face her knowing what I'd done. It was because of my neglect that her father died. But it was your fault. You kept me so liquored up that night I was no good for anyone, let alone a man as sick as Tom James was.
But it was you that gave him the wrong medicine. I didn't pour that liquor down you.
Well, you might as well have. It's the same thing. Bailey, I'm an old man. I don't care what happens to me anymore. But I ain't doing your dirty work any longer.
Now, you listen to me. You're in this thing as deep as I am, and you're going to do just as I say and keep your mouth shut. Now. What's your verdict now, Doc?
It's blackleg.
Here, have a drink.
possibility of black leg epidemic. Nice going, Jim. You've even got the newspaper working for you.
Yeah, that should drop the price of real estate.
Hiya, Jim. Sheriff Hickok, what's in this report about Doc Reed finding a black leg on the James Ranch?
I don't know any more about it than you read in there.
Jim, does that offer for my place still go?
Why, sure, Dan, but I don't think this is anything to get excited about.
Okay, well, I'm ready to sell right now.
Well, all right. You have your lawyer drop the papers, bring them in, and I'll sign them.
Okay, fine. It's a deal. I'll get paid right now.
Number one.
You just won yourself a cigar.
What's the matter with Dan?
Oh, this story in the paper has him in a panic.
Well, he's got a right to be. Black Leg can wipe out every herd in this area.
Sheriff, you seen anything of Bill?
No, why?
Remember me? I'm Ann James.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ann, for not recognizing you. Belle left home last night, and I haven't seen her since.
Well, Belle's a big girl. I'm sure she can take care of herself.
Sure, maybe she's out looking after those wild horses that broke out of your corral last night.
I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Well, maybe not, but I've got to go out and look around again for her.
I'll go with you.
Good, Ann. Come on.
If there's anything we can do to help, let us know.
Right on the heel and step on it. He's getting heavy. Hey, Ring, what do you think spooked them horses this morning?
Oh, I thought it was a rattler out there, Johnny, but I believe those redskin devils.
Yeah, I kind of had the same feeling. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled. Hey, Tommy.
Yes, sir.
You bring along enough iron to shoe these horses with?
If that horse Sally keeps cleaning out the corrals every night, we don't need any shoe-ons for the wild ones. What are you going to do about that horse anyway?
I'm going to take this old Black Morgan I'm shoeing right here and kick.
I never heard those Black Morgans being fast.
Well, this one is. Old Tom Hammond says the fastest thing ever come from Arizona. I'm going to go help some boys. Hey, maybe we better go help them too.
Yeah, I need to work up an appetite myself.
Before daylight.
You're lucky to be eating at noon. I should make you wait until night.
Hold it up here a little. Just a minute. What's the matter, Shorty? They giving you a bad time?
Oh, don't call me Shorty in front of them. Dad, you should let me go with you to catch that white stallion.
Man's work, Kate.
I can ride and shoot as well as any man.
If you just learn to cook as good as your mom, and I'll be satisfied. Besides, I'm not going after it.
I never knew you to give up so easily before.
Not giving up. That old stallion is just naturally going to catch himself.
All I ever do around this outfit is cook and wash. Cook and wash.
What's the matter, Kate? Still wanting to be a horse hand? I told you should have stayed at the ranch. This is the man's work.
Man's work? Would it ever be finished without women?
Hey, Johnny, there's somebody coming. It's a woman. Here. Well. What are you doing out here, Miss Bell?
Well, the horses you brought in yesterday are gone. Somebody must have let them out of the corral during the night.
Well, for goodness sake. You got any notions who might have done it?
Well, the opinion is that you did.
Yeah, whose?
Jim Bailey's.
Jim Bailey's. Now, what do you suppose he'd think of a thing like that?
No one else ever bucked him before. And he's going to try to keep you from delivering any more horses to Henry. I know he'd frame most anything on you to get you out of the way.
Now, let me get this straight. All I want to do is to deliver horses to your brother so he can deliver them to the Army. And for this, Bailey's going to drive me out of the country.
He used to be different. I kind of liked him. Something has changed him into a very greedy man.
Well, why come to me? Why don't you go to your local sheriff?
Hickok, don't make me laugh. The only way those horses will get to the fort is if you deliver them personally.
Well, what about your brother?
He's afraid. Oh, he talks big until Bailey shows up, and then there's just no backbone. That's why I took it on myself to come see you.
I see. Well, we are getting ready to make another roundup. I'll see what I can do about a straight delivery.
What's that?
My kid, Kate.
Your daughter?
Yeah. Her mother died while I was in the Army.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'd better see what's wrong.
What's the matter, Kate? Why, I just had a terrible pain in my side.
Yeah, take it easy, Shorty.
Listen, I'll get Doc Reed. You'd better get on with your roundup. I'll take care of things here till you get back.
You think she'll be all right? Sure. I'll be back, baby.
That's the white horse we've been looking for, all right.
He's wearing shoes. I wonder who he belongs to.
Probably one of those sailors the Redskin scouts.
Yeah, it could be. Well, let's get him on back to camp. We'll find out.
Hey there.
You'll be all right again in a couple of days. Just stay in bed and keep from moving around.
I can't stand that. I gotta cook for this outfit.
Now, you just lie quiet. I'll take care of the cooking for this outfit. How is she, Doc?
Oh, probably her appendix is a bit inflamed. Can't tell for sure, but she'll be all right in a couple of days. Just keep her from moving around and give her a couple of these pills every 3 hours.
Looks like you could use a couple of pills yourself.
Belle, I want to talk to you.
All right, Doc. Sometimes it's good to get things off your mind.
Yes, sometimes a man ain't so proud of what he's got on his mind. Yes, Belle, I have a lot on my mind. I wonder if you'd be interested in listening.
Let's have a cup of coffee.
I'd be mighty obliged.
on down, Ring. I'll see you in a little bit.
Well, you did all right.
Yeah, we picked up about 20 head. How's Kate?
Well, it looks like I'm going to be your new cook, at least for a few days.
Yeah, your brother may not like that.
Well, after what Doc Reed just told me, there may be a lot of things he won't like.
Just what did Doc Reed tell you?
The same thing that I said. Bailey's going to try and stop you from delivering those horses.
You know, I'm getting tired of people telling me that Bailey says I can't do this and I can't do that, and especially that I can't deliver my horses wherever I please and whenever I please. Hey, Bob, you and Tim get up 15 or 20 head of those horses and run them into Longtree's corral. And if Bailey gets in your way, run over him.
Like Doc Reed.
It's Doc Reed, all right.
Oh, he's been hurt.
He once told me that if anything ever happened to him, to check deep in a sugar barrel. I'm going to see if he was making sense.
What happened?
It's Doc Reed. He's dead.
Dan!
Bevan!
Yeah?
Are you headed for town?
Yeah?
Get these papers to Hickok right away.
Right.
All right. Hickok! Ha! Yeah. Ha!
Sheriff, old Doc Reed's dead.
He is. Where'd you find him?
His place. His horse must have drug him home. Henry Longtree and Miss James was there, too. They found him first and called me over. Oh, yeah, here's some letters Longtree found in old Doc's house. He told me to be sure not to give them to nobody but you, Sheriff.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Now, you can go on home. I'll carry on from here.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Longtree said if you needed him, he'd be at Johnny Rebel's horse camp.
Okay, thanks. They're not here, Jim. All right, Nato, where's the gold?
Horses and men didn't get through. I want more rifles.
I got your rifles for you. The wagon's out back. Oh, look, one more thing, Injun. Tell them redskin brothers of yours are getting too close to my town. Now, keep them away from my town or I'll turn my guns loose on them.
I don't understand.
You understand, all right. You may be able to fool Ann James with that little sunflower talk, but I know you and your breed. Now get out of here and take care of those new settlers down in South Creek. You men help them load.
Arizona. It's a nice job you did on Doc Reed. I got another job for you. $600 gold.
That's a lot of money. Must be a big man.
Do they come too big for you?
They haven't yet.
That's a man called Longtree. He buys horses. That's a man called Rebel. He sells them.
I like their looks.
This will be waiting for you when you get the job done.
It's practically spent.
Land, gold, political power. We've come a long ways, Bill.
Right.
But I think you made a mistake being rough with that Indian. They're funny. He'll turn on you one day.
I made no mistake.
How do you mean?
You mentioned the Ann James Ranch? Think it over.
That's right. You get him mad enough to start an uprising right here, and then James will sell faster and cheaper.
The Arizona Kid takes care of Johnny Savage or Johnny Rebel, and that leaves us free to get rid of NATO. Legal way.
You've just won yourself a cigar.
Them no good red-skinned devils. Chuck, take the bodies back to camp.
What'll I tell Johnny?
Tell him we're going Indian hunting.
I'm so happy about Kate's improvement.
Yeah, if I could just find out what Bailey's game is. If all he wants out of this business is a cut, well, I think I'll give it to him and stay out of trouble.
Well, I'm positive from his treatment of my brother, Jim Bailey would never be satisfied with part of anything.
And Hickok?
I can't prove it, but I'm convinced he's with Jim all the way.
Yeah, with a setup like that and the James Ranch behind it, what do you think we can do?
Well, you and your men could put on your guns and fight.
Don't ride me about fighting, Belle. I tried guns once, and a lot of innocent people got hurt. Like Kate and my boys. They're farmers and ranchers who lost their homes during the war. They're not gunfighters nor any match for Bailey's men. So if I can make a deal with him, I think that's what I'll do.
It's too late for you to make a deal with Bailey. Your time's just about up. The Arizona Kid. You know me?
Yeah. To make a long story short, I'm Johnny Savage.
The great Johnny Savage. My reputation will take a big jump after I do this job.
I'm not a lawman anymore, kid. I'm just what you see, a wild horse hunter. Trying to get horses to Fort El Reno to protect this country from savages.
Savages like me, I suppose.
You're not a savage, kid. You're just off on the wrong foot. Isn't there any way I can talk you out of this?
No. And if you're holding anything, you better start using it.
I knew you had an ace in the hole. I just couldn't spot it. Bill, I've been looking all over for you.
Stop hollering, Henry, and come here.
You two gunmen. Why, you couldn't even load pistols for a gunman.
We had him dead to rights till this Johnny Rebel shows up and chases us with a gun as big as a cannon.
Driver, didn't Judge Parker come along on this trip?
No, ma'am. Said he'd be in on the early stage in the morning.
Coach is in. What about Judge Parker? Driver says he'll be in tomorrow. He'll be in tomorrow. All right, get out of here.
Get out of here!
You know, with that judge coming in a day late, that gives us another day to take care of rebels. You two men take 5 or 10 fellows and ride out there and rough that camp out.
What about Belle Longtree? She's out there.
See, a sick kid, a little girl.
Girls, sick girls, Longtree, everything. Burn it to the ground. Now get going.
As I said before, you take care of the Indians, I'll take care of the men.
Sheriff Hickok! Got some trouble. Can't get your horses through to the port. But your trouble's all cleared out now. It's all wrapped up for you.
You're all under arrest for murder. For the murder of these poor, defenseless Indians.
I'm sorry I got you into this, Johnny. Seemed like a good idea at the time. You were willing to fight for what was right. Gave me incentive to go along with you.
You know, Henry, this confession of Doc Reed's about Baylor and Hickok is fantastic.
Yeah?
Well, we've got one thing in our favor. Judge Parker will be in on the late afternoon stage today.
What? Well, have you seen Ring and my boys anything?
Yes, they're in jail. Hickok locked them up for shooting Indians.
Tommy, get a hold of Chuck and barricade this camp. I'm going to town and see if I can get a hold of Judge Parker and get our boys out of jail.
But Judge Parker won't be in until tomorrow morning.
You seem to know an awful lot about this thing for a girl that just got into it.
That's where you're wrong. I've been in it for years.
Maybe one of us could ride out to Fort and bury the soldiers.
Yeah, I suppose they could walk over here.
I can take life flash and lead the horses through to the fort.
That would be just all I would need to get you and the horses lost on the trail. No, thank you. You and Belle go over to the tent, take care of Kate. I'll see if I can figure a way out of this thing.
What about Ring and the boys, Johnny?
They'll be all right. They're in the safest place I know. They've already done their work.
She'll get through, don't worry. She's got the courage to do it.
Well, tomorrow we can back the play by meeting with Judge Parker, see if we can't get things started.
Too many of them, huh, Johnny?
Johnny! Johnny, come here!
Oh, you poor baby. You poor baby. Only the innocent. It's always the innocent that gets hurt.
As Bailey prophesied, Hickok's cruel treatment of NATO caused him to unleash his savage fury on them sooner than they thought. The Indian joined forces with me less than after I, too, had sworn vengeance on the same heads for my daughter's death.
on Longtree went in town to meet Judge Parker.
Who's Judge Parker?
The circuit judge who comes to town once a month to handle cases like this.
Well, what are we waiting for, man? Let's go.
This is all I could get without arousing too much suspicion.
Good, that's just all I'll need.
I'm going with you, Johnny.
I'm going with you, too. Without you, I'd have nothing to live for.
From the look of that street, you'll stand a good chance of having nothing to live for.
The stage will be here any minute. It gives us just enough time to get up there to meet Judge Parker, right in front of Hickok's office.
Remember, that street's dynamite.
Right.
You stay 10 feet behind me. And Henry, stay 10 feet behind her. At the first sign of trouble, you hit the dirt. Let's go.
Get Pecos and barricade that saloon. I'll keep Rebel occupied.
I got men stationed all along the street. Rooftops, doorways, everywhere. With orders to shoot the first thing that moves. Can I borrow this? Help yourself. Coming with me?
I told you that Rebel makes one rifle sound like a regiment. Besides, you can bet your life that Longtree has given him that letter and he'll turn it over to Judge Parker when he arrives. When that happens, I don't want to be here.
So in a pinch, Hickok, the great town tamer, turned yellow.
Someday I'll kill you for that.
Maybe. But right now, I'm getting you out of a jam.
Henry! Henry, come back here!
never be satisfied if you don't.
Now let's finish this alone! What's the matter? You afraid I might be too fast for you?
You bet an eye and I'll blow you to kingdom come.
What's the matter?
You're calling it, Hickok. When I lower my rifle, you can go for your gun. I'm sorry.
I understand now. There's a time for fighting, time for peace.
What are you going to do now?
That's up to you, Johnny.
I'm only a horse trader, Belle.
Whatever you want to be is good enough for me.
Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go home.